did see that sign.
What's the Beatles?
Here next Saturday. We're negotiating my second contract. Jocelynn, we really want to pump your career right now, and we think a back-to-back release would be really good. I said, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And then I thought about it. It's like, wow, that means writing 2 books really, really fast. So I sat down and I figured out exactly how quickly I could write a book. I mean, just nothing else, getting in the way, no, family insanity. I can write one in about 3 months, and that's really fast for me. It doesn't leave a lot of room for error at all as well. Actually, there was a lot of time between writing the 3rd book and writing the 4th book, so I had a good span, 4 or 5 months, something like that, to write the 4th book. However, by the time I was getting into revisions for book 4, I needed to start writing 5, and I kind of just launched into going, God, I hope my editor likes 4, because everything that happened in 4 launches straight into book 5. It literally, and I'm cruel like this, 4 is a cliffhanger, but they said I could do that because 5 comes out the next month. So it literally, book 4 ends, and something like 10 minutes later, book 5 starts. I mean, it picks up the action very quickly. So I was praying the whole time going, oh God, please let her like 4, because 5 is completely based on the fact that she's improving 4 at this point. Any other questions? I'm taking questions. Come on in. Sit down. Take a relax. Yeah. I'm preferring not to read today. I'm not a very good reader, out loud at least. So I'm taking any questions you've got about the Dark Days series, or about writing, about getting published. I'm willing to talk about anything at this point. Sure.
How many books are in the total series?
I'm contracted for 6 at this point. Part of it comes down to how long they're willing to pay me to do this series. Just laying it out quickly, I could probably do it in 9. I would prefer to do it in 12. That would give me plenty of time to tackle some really nasty topics in the series, and hopefully end it on a slightly higher note. Most of my books end I don't write happy endings. If you've read the series, you know I don't write happy endings. I can't. I've tried really hard. It just doesn't happen for me. So I'm aiming that the last couple books in the series are probably going to end on a higher note. So it's going to take me a while to get to that point at least.
So do you know what 12 would look like? So do you have already planned out?
I don't have a necessary story arc of this is exactly what needs to happen through the next 6 books. It's more of here's some plot points that need to happen between Mira and Danaeus. Here's some things that need to happen between Mira and the Coven, Mira and Ryan. Just some main character points of growth and development in the plot. And I try to work the series around that. I will admit that 5 came out of nowhere in a lot of ways for me. I wasn't initially planning the book to be about what it was, but Mira made some decisions on me that I wasn't planning in book 3 that I had to deal with, so I managed to deal with that in book 5. Some people are complaining about the relationship a little bit, about I'm not moving it along fast enough, so I needed to deal with that in book 5 to make some people happy, which is fine. I actually have been planning on that for a while, and we're moving in the right direction, hopefully. Questions? Anyone got any questions? Sure?
Book 4, where is it going to take place?
Oh my God, I had to remember for that one. Book 4 takes place exclusively in Savannah. The whole thing. It was a lot of fun. I went down to Savannah last fall and walked pretty much every street that's mentioned in the book. I actually set foot on at some point in time. So I knew the fact that it was ballast stone versus cobblestone versus concrete. I knew the walls. I knew the architectural style down there. I knew the trees. So I could give so much better detail, I thought, with book 4 versus I'm kind of dependent on the internet when it comes to, I've never been to Venice, and that's a big setting in book 2. Trying to think of where else I've never been to Machu Picchu. Thank God my editor has been, so she called me out a few times going, Jocelynn, the landscape is not like this at all. I was like, oh, okay, we'll change all of that real quick. So, book 5 takes place in Budapest. Budapest was a lot of fun to research, but it was pretty intense because I've never been to Budapest, and I have to make it very convincing for the readers that, yeah, oh, I've been to this coffee house, and it's phenomenal, and this is exactly what it looks like, and this is what they serve. So it means pulling up stuff in Hungarian, trying to figure it out for a while. So, Book 4 has been my favorite to write because I'm so in love with Savannah right now that getting to spend so much time in one location and really digging into Mira's domain and her family was a lot of fun.
How'd you pick Savannah?
Dirty Secret, it was initially, the series was supposed to be written in Cincinnati because I'm from Cincinnati. It was great. Unfortunately, there was another writer, Kim Harrison. Familiar with her? She beat me to Cincinnati, and we had the same editor. I couldn't sneak it. I couldn't even fake it. It's like, Jocelynn, we've got somebody who's in Cincinnati. She's well known. Her books are in Cincinnati. You can't do it. It's like, okay, so I guess I'm from Cincinnati, so I need something that's somewhat small, well, modest in size. I couldn't go with New York or Chicago. That was just, I wouldn't have the kind of experience that would make it believable. I preferred Southern because Kentucky's somewhat southern state, and I could deal with that mentality better than if I was doing west or extreme east, that sort of thing. So I started looking around along the coast, and Savannah hit my needs, and Charleston hit my needs. And the more I dug around, I liked the fact that there's a heavy ghost presence in Savannah. I mean, it's supposedly one of the most haunted cities in all of the United States. So I didn't know how I was going to work that into the series, but having that as a background at the very least. I mean, you've got this very spooky town. It's very old. It's got an enormous historic district. So this was something that Mira would be able to cling to, being that she's over 600 years old. So she was going to be able to envelop herself in a society that was very slow and changing. So that was another reason why I picked Savannah. It's just gorgeous down there. Questions? Yes.
This is something that struck me back from the first one, and I knew you were from Cincinnati because I go to NKU, and that's actually where I first saw books. Is there an actual nightclub down there called The Dock, or did you just pick that from here?
Which one was it?
The Docks.
The Docks. Okay, that was written back when I was still basing in Cincinnati, and that was originally called The Warehouse. If you'd ever been to the warehouse, I mocked it step by step of exactly like the warehouse. I had planned on basing a lot of the locations in the book in Cincinnati, and I grew up during my teen years and early 20s going to the warehouse. So it's like, this is exactly what, go ahead, there's more seats up here. This was exactly what I needed for the series. So yeah, originally it was the Docks was the warehouse, but when I had to move to Savannah, decided to just change the name a little bit. It made sense since it was on a riverfront area that would be called the Docks. Funny enough, the book's published. I go down to Savannah, right there on the riverfront. There's a place called the Warehouse. It's like, well, damn it! I could have just named it the Warehouse and totally looked like I knew what I was doing. It's like, no. So you live and you learn. So that sort of thing is the way it goes. The one other sneaky thing I did, and my editor didn't catch it, thank God. There is not a Telfair Conservatory, as far as I know, in Savannah. This is a place where there's a major Notori fight with Danaeus in Book 4. If you read it carefully, you go step by step through it. It is Crone Conservatory. I needed a conservatory. I needed a place where there was a lot of plants growing. The Notori were naturally to go flock to see maybe they need a special herb or something like that. It's like, oh, it'll be at the conservatory. And I look around Savannah, and I couldn't find anything. It's like, well, we'll just lift Crone's conservatory out of Cincinnati, and we will place it in Savannah, and no one will be the wiser.